Hello, folks. John Shinholser live here at the McShin Foundation, and our tonight's guests are spread out all over the place. For those of you who do not know me, I'm John Shinholser, the president and co-founder of McShin, and I welcome you to this award-winning podcast. I'm also a person in long-term recovery from substance use disorders. For me, that means I've been clean and sober a little over 38 years, really actually 38 and a half, but who's counting? Tonight, we have an incredible lineup. We have the I don't even know how to describe our CEO, Honesty Liller, but we got her whole family on here tonight, or almost all of them, all those that would show up and claim her as their sibling, daughter, mother, or whatever. But we got a lot of fun tonight, and I don't want to take up any more time. So what I want to do is introduce all the family members so we can get a feel for what we're working with here. And since I already mentioned your name, Honesty, we'll go with you first.
Sure. I'm Honesty, a woman in long-term recovery for over 13 and a half years, and the CEO of the McShin Foundation and a proud alum of the McShin Foundation.
That's the quickest I've ever heard you talk or say anything, man. Welcome to the show. Dougie, you're up next, buddy.
I'm Doug, her little brother. I've been in the program almost 4 months now.
Oh, I like it, man. Family that stays together, recovers together. Dougie, Diddy, you up next. You got that look.
I'm Diddy. I'm the father of all these women and sons and whatever. And I put them all in recovery.
Well, I can see you did a good job, so but we ain't done yet. And I see your beautiful wife next to you, Derby.
I'm Derby. I'm the mother of all these wonderful kids, and I'm honored to be here.
What, man, I'll tell you what, family night. I love it. Harmony, I'm going to drop down to you.
Hi, I'm Harmony McCulley. I am the oldest sister of all of these siblings. So I've been around the longest and seen the most. So looking forward to sharing and being a part of this.
You know where all the skeletons are buried. I might come back.
I can remember them. I'm getting old, John.
Yeah, Harmony. Zen.
Hi, I'm Zen. I'm the baby sister, I guess, of Honesty, and ready to buckle up for this fun podcast.
Well, we're glad you could make it. And Mikey, last but not least.
I'm Mike. I'm twins with old Dougie Hauser right there, and then younger brother of superhero Honesty Liller, excuse me.
Right.
And I'm excited to be here tonight. I appreciate it.
Well, good. Glad you can make it. Now, one thing I've always heard was Honesty, Harmony, Zen. Now we got Doug, the man who named all these kids. Doug, how'd you come up with those names real quick?
Don't ask me that. I named Harmony.
Smoking weed, listening to music.
Yeah, I named Harmony after Elton John song. I named Honesty after a Billy Joel song. I named Zen after a Led Zeppelin, well, actually Robert Plant song. So
Hey,
I don't know why I did it. I just did.
Look, classic music, classic name, classic people. So it worked out just fine. Now, your family, all you kids, growing up, little chaos and drama growing up. Doug, I know you worked hard your whole life. And just briefly, what was it like growing up in this family? And Harmony, you're the oldest, so you got the most experience with this. Briefly, what was it like?
Oh, wow. That's a loaded question there. So it was loud. It was, we had a lot of fun, John. A lot of fun, a lot of good memories. We still talk about things today. So we were really close. I felt like we were all really close. Even when the boys came along, we were really close. We did a lot together. We had a lot of good memories. And I just look back and think about how much fun. And one thing I know I can say is we are not shy about teasing each other, making fun of each other, and just like as we had challenges through our life, just being there for each other. It may have made fun of each other along the way, but it was always in good spirit. And I just have so many great memories,
So in your mind, you grew up in this great all-American happy fun family. I love it because I'm really setting Honesty up for her version of all this. Zen, what was it like growing up, man?
Oh gosh. I was the youngest, so I don't remember too much, or at least I would say I don't remember it.
He was a tattletale.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
older sisters that I always wanted to hang out with. So I was going to tattle on you or you were going to let me hang out with you. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I probably, for as young as I was at some moments, was exposed to things that probably weren't my age appropriate. But, no harm, no foul there. But I mean, yeah, we have thick skin, I think, and I think that helps a lot through life with our family. And some people don't get it. I luckily have a husband that has kind of a similar family background of just the humor, and we can crack jokes. But yeah, I would say being the smallest one, or the youngest, yeah, I saw some things, but
But you got through, and here we are tonight.
yeah.
That's a good hit. Now we'll jump over to the boys, the twins. I don't know Mikey that well, but so Mikey, I'm gonna let you have first crack at this.
Oh, geez, so many memories. So, but it was loud, and as of today, when you get it together, which you'll see on this podcast, loud. So it was great times, and it still is great times. But when it got real, and we wanted to take care of each other. And it's you never want to see anybody like that. But we, like everybody is saying, we are happy family when we get together, and we just have the best moments when we are together. So absolutely grateful.
You being a twin, twins have a special bond, a special relationship. Am I correct about that?
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say.
All right, Dougie, you're the twin. What do they say, man?
Well, we got an ongoing joke on the other side of the family because we got some twins over there too. That it's kind of like yin and yang. You got the good twin and the evil twin. So I ended up being the evil twin. He ended up being the little precious saint twin, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I'm holding.
I might dispute that a little bit, Doug.
Yeah. I don't know if that's
That could be a flip flop as y'all got older. Yeah.
Definitely.
Now, before I jump into Honesty Derby, you kind of married into the family, but they were all young kids, so you was like this incredible stepmother overnight. What's your take on things from the time you joined the family to now?
John, I would say this is the most incredibly well-blended family that I could possibly be a part of. We all came from different spaces and different paths. Mike and Dougie came from one place, the girls came from another, and then I joined the family, and of course Doug's on his own space. So, but this, I've never seen a more supportive family of related members that really gets behind each other when they need to. I mean, no one has ever stopped loving each other. We've always been there. We've had our moments when we've fallen out of grace, but we've always stepped back up to try to pick each other up and keep each other going. And a lot of that's been, learning through what Ani's been through and what the twins have been through and what each one of us individually has been through. I mean, it's an incredible family force, and I'm so proud of them. I'm really, really proud. I'm so glad to be a part of this family, and I have had my challenges. I didn't expect to have 6 children.
Wow.
I had one, and I had 6, but it's been a great gift.
That's not bad. 6 for 1. I mean,
yeah, there you go.
Pretty good. I want to compliment that, but I got 7 siblings, so there's 8 kids I grew up, and I'm telling you, I feel the love. I mean, this is bigger for me, because I know this kind of family when I get around it. So I feel like I'm in my own family right now. Honesty, what do you got for us?
So, I mean, I was high a lot of our childhood. Definitely, I feel, because Derby is our stepmother, I feel like as young children, we were raised a little different than most children were, and exposed to things that we probably shouldn't have been exposed to, but only due to other people's illnesses and stuff. But definitely a dysfunction. I truly believe that. But when I started using when I was 12, so I was really not mentally present through a lot of the years of a lot of the happy memories. Like, I remember things through pictures, and I remember, laughing, and I definitely know of happy memories, but the stuff that I've worked through, the trauma and stuff, is just a little different than probably, it's just a different version of what, they have seen because of the stuff. I mean, I started, really heavy drugs, not just smoking weed and drinking, but doing LSD and all of that at 12. Like my son, Wyatt, y'all know he's 11, so I exposed myself to a lifestyle that my family didn't even know about until I overdosed when I was 17. So I have just a different outlook on childhood. But now in all these years in recovery, I couldn't ask for a better supportive, happy, fun, call you on your crap family. I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't be here if Derby didn't know you, John. I mean, for real, I was at literally death's door again.
Yeah, let me just throw this out there. I've heard you give your story many times, and you can drill it down to like 2, 3, 4 minutes. Maybe all the family hadn't really heard it at one time. Why don't you just give us a quick, elevator story on things?
Well, they have read all of my articles. What do you mean? Okay, my story is I grew up in a little bit of dysfunctional household, and I started using drugs when I was 12. No fault of the household. Just I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to fit in. So when I started smoking weed and drinking and doing shrooms and LSD, I was a super hippie chick. I loved it. It filled a void that I felt like I didn't have as a child. And, with that came the people that you use with, right? And your so-called friends. And once I found heroin at 17 and started using that, my chemical, receptors went off. I fell in love with opiates from age 17 to 26. And those last 9 years, obviously I overdosed when I was on heroin, and they can give you their version because, again, they tell me, what happened and stuff. I am an opiate user. I love opiates. So for me to be able to do 9 whole years of using heroin and other opiates, I mean, definitely, I have no question I didn't hurt anyone in these squares. Even just the worry, that me and you help parents practically every day now that have lost a child. So like I'm on the other end of, I knew this was going to happen. I'm on the other end now, right? So, they tried, all those years, and then I had Destiny in the mix, my daughter, and that was another whole stress, anxiety, fear for them, because I was so consumed with opiates, well, specifically heroin. I wasn't a mom to Destiny like I should have been until I came to McShin, until I got her back. And Harmony let me live with her when I got Destiny back. And that's the short version. Now life is great. I got a new kitchen and woo!
Woo! Hey, that was, I know how that kitchen went. It wasn't like that. I got a new kitchen. Woo! No, I've been hearing about that kitchen for a while now.
4 months.
Yeah. So let's drop back just to the kids for a minute. And did you, like, when Honesty got into her struggles and troubles, what were your thoughts? Okay. And Harmony, you're the oldest, so you probably were there and seen it first, I'm assuming. What were you thinking back when Honesty went off the rails?
I was really scared. Like I grew up, I had a lot of friends that did drugs. I had, people that I knew from school that like had bad things happen, didn't end up like Ani, and making it through. So when I saw that it was happening to her and how serious it was, when she first had her first overdose, I didn't really know what to think. I honestly thought she was going to die, if you want my true opinion. I had already been to one funeral in regards to an overdose. And it was someone that had been friends with since kindergarten. So for me, like I remember walking in the hospital and seeing her in there, and just like I didn't even really know what to say or do when I walked in, because I was just so like happy she was alive, but at the same time I didn't even know like what was going to happen next, like how she was going to get help, and hoping that she wouldn't end up, in the same fate that some others did. I would say that every time she did good, I was so proud and so excited. And every time we tried something new, I was there to like help wherever I could. You know, I mean, I wasn't living through it, so I couldn't really understand her perspective, but I tried to help and offer what I could. But every time she failed, it would just break my heart. And I was just really nervous that like nothing was going to work. But then when she got to McShin and I realized she met all you guys, and I actually met a lot of the McShin folks, and we played sports together. I just knew it was going to work. It was just a different feeling. So for me, it was a journey of back and forth. And like, you know, if you want me to be honest, like I was disappointed every time it didn't work, because I always was like, oh, this is going to work, or whatever we tried. Even when Daddy and I would meet with certain people and they would say this odd percentage, you know, only 17% of people get through this. I mean, the odds were pretty much against us, and against Ani. I mean, even one time her tail, she ran away from us. Remember that, Daddy? She took off running down the highway. I was like, I can't catch her. There were just things that would happen, John, where I was just like, what else could go wrong? But again, she ended up where she's at now, thanks to McShin, thanks to everybody on this call that helped in their own way. But it wasn't easy, and I'm very proud of her. I mean, I couldn't be more proud. From the moment I walked in that hospital and walked in that room till the moment right now, I'm just so proud of her. And now I don't have any tissues in here.
Yeah. Well, good. Zen, I'm coming across the bottom of my board. You know, what were you thinking when Honesty was going through her struggles?
I have, I guess, a little bit different perspective because, you know, I was younger. So, like, I was in and hanging out with her sometimes and driving around with her. And, like, I didn't realize, you know, what was really going on. You know, I thought we were having fun, and, you know, I got to hang out with her friends, and like, I didn't realize she was into heroin or anything to that extent. So at first I didn't really realize, you know, it was that kind of a struggle. I think with the age I was, being like 16 and stuff, like it, you know, life didn't really I didn't think about it that way. You know, I had friends.
How old were you? How old were you when Honesty got clean and finally launched?
She's 2 years younger than me.
I'm just 2 years younger.
She was 24 when I was in McShin.
So
yeah,
y'all pretty close together.
Yeah.
So like we hung out and like stuff like that. So like I never like I didn't do drugs and stuff, or I didn't even drink till I was 21. So I was kind of, you know, always just acted like the little baby. But so I didn't know, and really it didn't hit me really hard until she had Destiny, and that's something that probably hit me the most. I had just finished school, about to start college, and she was living at home and had just had Destiny, and you know, that was when I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, you know, it's real. It's not just like partying or hanging out. Like she's got a real issue. So I mean, yeah, it's crazy to think of it one way as like I was having fun and hanging out, but really she had this really hard addiction that, you know, some people like to look the other way or don't really know it's happening. And then something real like her overdose and things like that happen, and it's like, bam, and it hits you. So,
and let me throw a hardball out here just for a minute. Okay, when everybody knows when Destiny was born, there was an addiction problem there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and y'all must have been aware of that. You must have been thinking, "What the hell? What's this girl doing?" You know, maybe Dad. What were your thoughts when Destiny was born and the struggles for that birth?
Well, it's funny, not funny, but we didn't know till a little bit later. I don't know how long that Annie had used, like, hell, just before the birth, right, Annie?
I used my whole, yep.
Yeah, so, you know, we're in like all like, we didn't know how bad she was neither. I don't know if we like hid from it, or we knew she was struggling, was screwed up, and I knew she's always been hard-headed as hell. So she wouldn't, me talking to her was like talking to a wall. You know, she wouldn't listen to me. But yeah, we were really worried about Destiny, and I remember like I remember when she was born, like Honesty was in a room having the baby, and we were in a waiting room, and she couldn't do any whatever she did at the time, and she screamed worse than any human being I ever heard in my life. Scared the hell out of me. I had to leave the waiting room because Honesty was in so much pain. I guess she was in withdrawals, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I went into immediate withdrawal.
Yeah, she was like a nutbag. And they asked me, do you want to go watch you look at your grandson? I said, hell no, I left. I ran from it. I didn't want to see it or even hear it. But then we thought we were worried about Destiny being born with, whatever addiction or, they tested, they did all this. Because we didn't know she was, we knew she was screwed up, but we didn't know she was using.
Well, we did. We found out from Chuck at the methadone clinic that you were pregnant on. That's who told us you were pregnant. That's how we found out. So we knew what we were up against. We just didn't know how bad it was all through your pregnancy. So I think that was the scary thing for us was, what were we going to be able to do for Destiny at that point, let alone you as an active addiction. So, now not only did we have a mother in active addiction, but now we had an infant that we were worried about. So.
And Derby, I was thinking earlier, the kids were talking, Honesty's off the chain. You got these other kids you got to worry about. You don't want them to follow her path. Were those thoughts going through your mind, how you run interference on protecting the other kids?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there were so many vacations that we took that Honesty wasn't a part of. And quite frankly, Yanni, I was glad because, it wasn't any fun to be around you when you were like that. And I know that Zai was scared. Zai, you may not remember some of the conversations we had, but when you finally realized what was going on, you were very frightened. You were scared to death you were going to lose your sister. It wasn't until really, I believe, that Harmony and Zai said we can't do it anymore that Ani finally heard. I mean, that was, I think, more so than me or Doug or anybody else in the family telling her that because we weren't going to give up on her, but at the same time, how much more could we handle? But I think it's when Harmony and Zai started to give up on her that that's when the boat started turning. So when the time came for McShin, she was probably more ready at that time because she was realizing that she was losing us.
Yeah, I'll have to say, I was pretty pissed at her.
Yeah.
I mean, just seeing the things I saw with Destiny being an infant, and I'm sitting here I'm about to go to college. I mean, it was just, I was like, this ain't happening. This is crazy. And then I was just really mad at her. I was like, get your shit together.
Well, it's bad enough. I know there's a stigma to the addicts, alcoholics, addiction. And then when you see these pregnant mothers act out and get your kids going through these traumatic childbirth, it's like a double stigma. And then it's your own sister, your own sibling, a person you grew up with and you love. It had to have been so much confusion going on inside of you guys. There's no way to avoid it. Now, the boys, I've been nice to y'all so far, I think. So briefly, Mikey, you're growing up in this family. You see Honesty's addiction. Y'all must have been raised to say drugs are bad, addicts are no good. Then your sister becomes one. And then you see what she goes through with her childbirth. What's going through your head during this period?
I was young, so when they were doing all that fun stuff, taking care of Honesty, we were kind of in the back corner, like, Mike, go do this. Kids, go outside, So we really didn't get to see Honesty's big, really upsetting moments when that stuff was happening. And I don't have much memories of being around Honesty, probably between softball and a few beach moments, because she wasn't around that much when I was young. And to be honest, it was just such a mix of the family so fast when I was really young too. I didn't know as a young person what really was going on. So it was a lot going on personally with my life, and then trying to transition into with them and stuff. So it was tough. So I mean, I
bet, because a lot of times what I see a lot in families, the younger kids, they really do get the brunt of some of the dysfunction that takes place. They don't get to participate in what should be happy family stuff because they got to be sheltered, basically. Dougie,
exactly.
You grew up just like Mikey, man. What was it like?
I mean, he put it best. We didn't get introduced to them until we were 6 or 7?
Yeah, we didn't know the boys until they were 7.
Yeah, until 7. And then,
Oh, you got two brothers.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. Daddy had a little bit of fun.
Santa was good that year.
Daddy liked making babies.
Oh, I love it, man.
We
Y'all
haven't had a
family.
DNA test yet, so I haven't proven that.
Dougie looks
Oh, he's yours. He's yours.
You know, honestly, you're hearing your family talk. I know y'all completely healed and come back together. Other families are watching this. They're gonna watch it. They're going through the same thing. Any thoughts going on, honestly?
Yeah, I mean, it's a ton of different thoughts. Yes, we've healed as a family. I think the more longevity of recovery that people have, you have more time to heal. But sitting here and listening that Zen was scared and like bringing back those memories of like what I did to Destiny, and I'm strong and I've worked through it, but it breaks my heart still. Like it's not gonna ever go away when I talk about that, and especially when I hear the people that I love the most, you know, how bad I hurt them. I mean, I think the reality for the families out there and specifically the people using, like, this is why I wanted to do this, to show family members that you can still heal. You can still not be a good mother and not have my child, or be present with her, but not be a mother to her, have her born, you know, in withdrawal of heroin, you know, but now heal that she's a beautiful, beautiful, smart, talented young woman, you know, because of my recovery and being able to heal that shame, because that negative outlook for women, like you said, is still strong, specifically if you're a mother and you're using and, you know, you're trying to get your life together or not. It's just difficult. But, you know, that definitely, that definitely hurts. It hurts listening to them say all that stuff. I mean, it definitely does. I'm just grateful that I'm in recovery, and hopefully I don't ever have to hurt them again.
You know, just briefly, and I'll have each family member weigh in. You know, here's Honesty, so many years clean, help actually bring McShin Foundation to the level we're at, works as hard as anybody that I've ever seen work, chief executive officer, in line to, you know, inherited the succession plan goes by. And, you know, y'all got to be proud of that. What are your thoughts on where she was, what you've seen her go through, the 7-year struggle, but where she's ended up today so far? You know, what are your thoughts on that? Dad, I'll start with you first.
Well, to me, it's unbelievable because you and me, we grew up, the 60s and 70s. And like y'all said, I looked down on people, what Honesty was doing. What would we call them, junkies and stuff like that. And then, like, we can look at old videos and movie pictures of Annie, and she's not even the same person. And so when we see her today and I hear her talk very intelligent, I'm like,
where'd that come from? Didn't come from Dad.
Who is this damn woman? I don't know who the hell is this woman telling me off and telling me what to do. Now, she's smarter than me, of course. You know, she knows everything. But I really can't. I think it's because of me, how strong she is now.
My wife's so smart, we nicknamed her Google. So,
yeah.
Derby, what are your thoughts on Honesty? Where's she been? Where she's at?
Oh, I think it's been an incredible journey, and I think she is who she is today because of what she's been through. I think every part of her life, every struggle, but every joy has made her into the woman that she is today. And I think, you know, she needs to celebrate herself every single day because we celebrate her. But it's an education, John. And, you know, we've been through this every step of the way. I don't think we've missed much over the years, Ani, with you. And I'm very grateful for that today because it's an education for us to understand who you are and how to be whole again and not have that stigma. There is no stigma today when it comes to our discussing you, Ani, and your addiction, or you, Dougie, and what you're going through. Those are things that we're dealing with, and that we're proud of you for taking the steps that you're taking to be in recovery. I mean, again, you guys have got to know that there's no shame here. We love you, we embrace you, and we're here. We've always tried to be here for you. And I think we've learned how to educate ourselves about that over the years, John, because I think that's been important for us.
Right, you're damn right. Harmony, you know, the fall, the rise, and here she is at the top of the pinnacle.
Real quick on one of my many a detoxes, Daddy called Harmony. I do remember them telling me this. Daddy called Harmony over to the house to beat me up.
Yeah.
He couldn't handle me anymore.
I was going to kill her.
He shut me upstairs. He locked the door to the upstairs with you and me in it while you were undergoing detox and expected me to handle you by myself, and you were going absolutely bonkers. And he said, "Don't worry, I'm going to call Harmony because she'll get her straight."
That's Mechanicsville detox system of care work right there.
And over.
Yeah.
Harmony.
Yeah. Well, there was one time Ani did beat my ass. Oops, I'm sorry, Kimmy. I didn't know if you said Christopher, but when I tried to get in front of her, Derby, so you're all right about the bonkers. At least you didn't get any swings at you. So I would say absolutely proud, like from the moment that like we realized it was a problem until now. Like I couldn't be more proud. Like Daddy said, I think he said it, hit it on the nail. Like she's just a completely different person. Never in my wildest dreams would I think that she would accomplish all of this, not because I didn't think she could do it, but just because what she was suffering through and the challenges I knew it would be to get here. She's amazing. Like she's not only anytime anyone asks me anything about they have a family member that's struggling, they have even if it's not even fully related to like a drug addiction, any kind of addiction, I say, you got to talk to my sister, she'll hook you up. She'll help you. She'll figure out who can help you. I'm just so proud to be able to do that and recommend her. And I can't express how proud I am of her for not only rising above and becoming, in recovery and healing herself, but helping others. Like, I just think that's amazing. Like, if more people can do that, I think more people will be healed and more people will get better, and at least have a better support system. Also, she kicks ass. She's like athletic and in shape. It's just insanity. Like, and she's a great mom. I know we've talked a lot about the past, but I think, she really should celebrate, like Derby said, like she's come a long way, not just with helping herself, but I just love that she helps everyone else. And like I said, I send people her way all the time.
Good for you, Zen.
Oh yeah, man, she's simply the best. Simply the best. David.
Bong hits.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she's just awesome. Like all together. Like, for being a little younger when it was all happening to like seeing it now, and then to also like get to participate in things like this or come to her anniversaries, things like that. Like that is where you truly get to see the people she's helped. So seeing that firsthand is just every time it just fills me with grateful, emotions that, she's here, she's alive, and she's just killing it, so nothing but positive, vibes on that. And I couldn't be more proud of her.
Good for you, Mikey.
I am super stoked to call Honesty Liller my sister because, whoa, it's really, really grateful to be her younger brother because of the people. I'm in construction, and they'll tell me, like, they'll have issues or they're going through something, and I'll be like, well, my sister Honesty, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's your sister? I'm like, yeah. And like that's really in a good way because she's famous not because she wants to be one of them selfie picture Snapchat folks. She's famous because she's helping people, and she's known for helping people through the East Coast. And I hear that y'all go to California or wherever y'all been across the states, and it's really, really awesome and amazing because even though I was young, she was not nearly the same person. If I saw her then to now, I'd be like, who is this and who is that? Because like they're saying, just really different. I'm so grateful that she gets to see her daughter grow up the way she is, and just every birthday, and then has another son. Just another child. It's a great family that she has built because of her struggles and making this happen. And with the great, support from you and the family, and it's really incredible what y'all have done, and I'm grateful for Mission.
Well, she's an incredible hope dealer. That's how I sum it up. Honesty's a hope dealer.
Let me interject real quick because I'm sitting here looking at Ani and Dougie, and I just love this picture I'm looking at
Amen.
They're happy, they're smiling. I mean, and we're a very close family, and the things they've both missed, like Dougie's missed some stuff the last few years because his problems, and Annie missed a lot of stuff. But we'll get together and like we don't hold back. And the thing I like is how much we laugh at each other. Just laugh, like they dog each other to the quit. Nobody cares, and it don't hurt anybody's feelings. But just to see them two together. Right. My heart's pumping pretty good, and I'm old now, so I might have a stroke. But
well, let me help the viewers out on this. Dougie, I know you love your sister. I know you're very proud of her. I know you're thrilled to death to be sitting next to her in her new kitchen while Aaron's over on the couch. Yeah, but like Dougie, Dougie, you recently. We're on death's doorstep, okay? I've been following the saga of Dougie now for several years, and the whole family has tried to assist you and help you and give you good information and do whatever. Clearly you weren't going to make it. You almost died from substance use disorders. And the moment came where you said, yes, I need help. Honesty was there. No questions asked. We do what we do for really anybody, so don't think you're any special. I got 130 Dougies over here right now. But I mean, there's got to be some special connection and feelings going on there.
I mean, there absolutely is. She was the one I talked to the most while I was up, after I woke up in the ICU, just not even knowing where I was at all. I got some information from her. I talked to the nurses and stuff like that. And she was my first call, to be honest, once I realized, because they told me going in when I first woke up, I was in there for pneumonia. I talked to Ani, and that was a great conversation.
I remember that you were trying to tell Honesty, look, what's wrong with me is I got pneumonia. I'm not all messed up. It's pneumonia. And I'm thinking, that's so classic, man.
Ani was pissed.
Oh, man.
I haven't seen her that pissed in a long time. Ani was hot.
She called me 2 or 3 times a day, and she would tell me, I can't talk to him anymore, Daddy. If I see him, I'm going to punch him in his damn face. I mean, she was going off. Then she called me.
Intervention in the making.
Yeah.
It's just so frustrating. Like, it's been 3 hard years of all of us trying to help Dougie with his alcoholism. And then the past year, really, really hard, where it was just kind of me still holding on to some glimpse of hope, because I live it and I see it and I know people can get it, right? So when he was laying in the hospital bed with tubes down his throat and not breathing on his own, and then I finally talked to him after 4 days of talking to his doctors, and they didn't mention a word about pneumonia. Not a word. He still will argue with me. But then he's like, yells at me, and then I go ballistic. I'm like, this MF, I just couldn't, because it's like, you know how frustrating it is, John. It's like you want to shake them, you want to, and then I'll never forget. I was sitting back in my bedroom, and he called me, and he said, can you come get me tomorrow? And I literally got in my car. Actually, you called me I was at Chesterfield House, just finished group with the girls, and I said, I'm getting in my car, and I went to Warrenton. Matthew Connor rode with me to go get him, and he's been here ever since.
Yeah, hey, Mikey, you and Dougie were very close at one time, right?
Yeah, he was super close.
Yeah, dude. What were you excited to hear? Dougie got in recovery and get his life straight?
Here's the thing: you're in recovery. I understand you're trying to make yourself better, but it's not just I'm in recovery, I'm good. I know people for years that go through this, years and years and years, and I've heard it every day. You're never fully recovered. So it's a long road ahead, and I am grateful. I'm super grateful that he got out of the hospital and everything like that, and he was still being an asshole, even though coming straight out of the hospital. But he was alive, and the next day, I guess, Honesty texted me saying Eagles landed or something like that. But
I remember that. Like, yeah. She said, all of us.
Oh yeah.
That assholeness you spoke of, that's like a DNA thing. So just don't beat Dougie up. But I want to go out on a limb here because I spent a little time with Dougie. You know, the first 30 days he was here, we had a few meals together. We kicked it, and I've been around a lot of newcomers, Mikey, and I've heard a lot of shit from a lot of people. And I'm speaking to you from the heart right now. But I think one of Dougie's most bothersome things that was bothering him, will I ever get the love of my brother Mikey back? Because I know I hurt him so bad, and we had such a wonderful relationship. And that was a big deal for Dougie to share that with me. And I thought one day maybe, you know, y'all can have that conversation. Because I really believe Dougie's in a good trajectory right now. And, you know, I you know, you feel what I'm saying, Mikey?
No, I hear you. I felt it for years. This ain't 3 years for me with Dougie. This is a long time. I've been slowly seeing him up, down, and you know, you can only open your heart or open your eyes for so long, or close your eyes. I don't even know the words, but either way, it's just you see him do what he does. It's like a smack in the person's face who's trying to help him, and y'all know that what I mean by that. And it's just, I mean, I will admit, like, I given up on trying to open myself, and I had to make sure, like, not to get back in there to hurt myself, because, you know, I have my own life, so I can't be held back with somebody else's problems, if that makes sense. And I'm still, you know, it's a recovery for me too through this situation.
Totally. Yeah. You know, his disease educated you, you know, gave you your training, you know, on the job, and vice versa. Dougie, I mean, how you feeling right now, buddy?
To be honest, I mean, like you said, that my biggest thing that's pushed me here and is to get my brother back, get my family back in general, because they all, except for Ani, for the most part, had basically excommunicated me for me just acting a fool, basically, and just ignoring what they were saying, and just not really paying attention to my actions, how it was affecting them and whatnot. And it took a while for me to really realize it. And the best I can hope for is try and get back to where we were as we were a few years ago. And yeah, I'm not very good at this. I'm not good at.
You're not good at talking. You're right.
You're on the right.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing. You
Only
keep
if
it
you
simple.
disagree.
Yeah, keep showing up in my office regularly. You're gonna be all right. Derby, the smartest one in the bunch here.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
Hey,
I don't
take
think so.
I gotta. She married me, so you
I
gotta.
know.
You gotta drop
Don't hold that against her. But what are your thoughts,
That's a
Derby?
family joke.
Common sense.
I can weigh in on that for you, Mike. You know, Mike, it doesn't take it. I mean, trust can be broken overnight. It takes a long, long time to build trust again. You know, Zai and Harmony did not trust Ani overnight. You know, it took us all a really long time to believe in her again. But we did it one day at a time. We followed her path. We supported her. We listened and we learned. But you know, this healing process takes time. But that's what we're doing. We're healing. Even tonight is a huge healing experience for all of us. To be able to sit here and talk like this, look each other in the eyes and tell each other that we love each other, that's critical for all of us as a family. But you know what? It takes time, Mikey. You're okay. Dougie, you're okay. One thing at a time, one day at a time, and you guys are going to be all right. But remind yourselves. I mean, Harmony, you can share how long did it take for you to understand and believe in Ani again?
Oh, I think I just said earlier, it was a long journey, Derby. Heartbreak and excitement, and same for Dougie. I have to say, like, yeah, I mean, I understand Mike's perspective, but it makes me so sad to hear some of this, because you know, with Ani, it did take a while, but with Ani, I felt like I didn't know when she was going to hit rock bottom, and then I didn't know if something new was going to work, and I was like just hoping all the time. And then finally, I knew that she found something when she found McShin. With Dougie, I was so nervous that I was like, when is his ass going to hit rock bottom? Like, what is going to make him? And he's so damn stubborn. I mean, just look at him right now, laughing and smirking at me. So, just like, he's so stubborn. And I was just like, what else is going to happen? And I was trying to, in my mind, which I shouldn't have been doing, compare it to Ani. Like, she felt like she was always like asking for help or wanting help. And Dougie was more like, well, you guys like he kind of just said, like, you guys just let you know, what did you say? Excommunicated or whatever word you use. But it was more like kind of gave up. And I know we weren't doing that. I know we did stuff to try to help him. I know I did personally.
That's not what I was getting at.
Yeah, but I know, but I'm just saying, like, I know what you're saying, Dougie. Like, you felt that way, and I understand that. But I was over here kind of thinking, like, when is he going to hit rock bottom? Hopefully he'll go to McShin. I mean, I said that all the time to Ani. I was like, and I will give her tons of credit. She did not give up. She was like determined that she was going to get him help and
let me add a little content to this conversation. You know, I'm in my office. I got a new guy over here watching, him and his girlfriend almost. And yeah, his brother passed away right after Thanksgiving, this past Thanksgiving. We got Jill Chickowitz watching. She's one of our biggest fans, and we do the night for Scott. Jill had a twin brother who passed away, and I know Jill worked diligently to try to help her brother, so I don't think there's no foul there on trying to help your family member. Not everybody makes it, but I would bet my left arm that Jill wished she could be in a family meeting right now with her brother there, being part of this conversation. So all around us is success stories, sad stories, and everything in between. And that's why I think these podcasts are so important. We have these conversations. The more content we can push out to the masses, hopefully one day recovery becomes the epidemic and not the addiction or the drugs. So you guys, you're strong, you're honest, you're courageous. We're having this conversation. I really appreciate it because, that's the benefit and the value here. And Jill just commented, I would do anything to go back. Tears are streaming as I write this. And Jill, I'm feeling it right now, and I do understand. And I think some people's journeys helps other people's journeys who are still journeying. So we value this. Honestly, you're a very wise person. I think. Got some other things I can bring up, but you're wise. You know what I mean? You understand this. What are your thoughts right now?
First, I love you, Jill. I love you so much. I get it, Mikey. Like, I get, the pain and the hurt. I get the frustration. I understand it. I have lived both ends, right? But I think, when I tell my story, and not even just tell my story, but when I think about that last day that I used, when I think about Derby coming over to our apartment that we were evicted of, my husband's over here for like 3 months and no one ever came to take us out. Like, Daddy told me, I'll never forget. He told me, I said, I'm dope sick. I'd rather die. He said, okay, and hung up the phone in my face. Harmony and Zen weren't talking to me. So I was really in Dougie's shoes, the same as he, was before he came to McShin. Derby showed up. She knew John. This was like to be honest, I only wanted to get Suboxone and detox off of heroin. I didn't want nothing to do. John knew a doctor. So I was like, okay, I'll go so I can get the medication. And then look what happened. I lived there for 5 months. So it's okay. Like, we have valid feelings, but we have to work through those feelings. Like, family, I truly believe is first, in all areas of my life. I have to put Adam and the kids and whoever else, my sisters and everyone first, right below my recovery, and we only get this one family, right? It's like, we can make friends, we can have our work friends, we can have whatever, but like, God gave us this family. We didn't choose these humans. Someone else chose for us.
Well, Derby did.
Yeah.
Derby did.
Oh yeah, Derby did. Excuse me. Well, she didn't know what she was getting into. I don't know.
Right.
But for real, like, the healing happens. Like, I didn't even trust myself, for a long time in early recovery. knew one day I was going to use again. And I knew one day that I was going to drink at least because I was old enough to drink. And then when recovery, that's right, Joe, family forever. Like when recovery started really happening and I started having those hope dealers around me, that's when I had to heal myself like Dougie has to do. Like Dougie has a lot to work on, you know, and we have conversations and we've been having conversations for a while. And I know he feels, you know, all of y'all's pain and I don't have any question of that. But also, you know, just kind of take a step back and give, you know, him the grace enough. You know, he finally is here. Like for one, I mean, damn,
I love it. Yeah.
Him calling me that day, he could have went back to that trailer. He didn't have to call me. He could be still doing what he was doing. So what recovery teaches me is like have empathy for those that are at least trying. And it's not a miracle fix and it's not an overnight, okay, like Danny and Derby, they didn't give me a key to like their house or the beach house for like 3 years. Like I didn't have any of like, oh, well, I thought I was like, you know, in early recovery, you know.
If they'd asked me, I'd have said, don't do it.
Anyway, it's like a process. So our disease of addiction is a process. What Dougie did all these years, that was a process for him, right? So it's going to be a healing process. It's not going to happen overnight. But McShin is really good at healing the families. I mean, look at this family here. So everyone in this whole call, including John, has helped me heal and helped this family heal. So now it's our turn to do that for Dougie.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm so proud of Dougie. Like, honestly, Dougie, like, you don't know how happy I am that you're at McShin. Just Maisie was talking to me the other day after you came for Thanksgiving about how she missed you and she hadn't seen you in so long. And I know you barely have, you know, starting your relationship to meet Morrison. So it just made me feel really good to tell her that you were with Ani and she knows a little bit about him. She's very young, but I'm just really proud of you, Dougie. Like when you came for Thanksgiving, me and Scott, my husband, talked about it and we were just so excited that, I mean, I felt like it was like old times to me. I know, like Ani said, you got stuff to figure out and you have a journey of your own, but I just wanted you to get off this call knowing how proud I am of you and how excited I am that you're taking these steps.
You know, we're running kind of at the top of the hour, but I wanted to clean something up here. When Honesty came to McShin, her boyfriend followed her.
We don't want to talk about that.
I know. But, you'll be proud of me for this one. When I saw the boyfriend there, I looked at him and I told him, I said, the best thing you can do for Honesty is go back up to the nearest bridge and jump off of it, right?
He did.
And I ain't never been so wrong about a prediction in my whole life. So
yeah,
normally I'm pretty accurate, but
I told me my picker was broke. I'm now married to a CEO.
John, do you realize how many batteries Adams bought because he'd come by and see me? I need some money for a battery.
Got them all in the shed too.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about lightning striking twice in the same spot. Yeah, it's amazing. But so, Mikey, I was watching your face when people were talking, you know, and I could definitely see you had some thought going on. We're about out of time, but I just wanted you to, any thoughts you wanted to share, you could share.
I mean, the biggest thing is like, well, I mean, it takes me a while to process stuff and talking about Dougie and what he's been going through and all that stuff. But the biggest thing that just hits me and I can't hide it is the night that I got the call when it wasn't a call from the hospital, it was a call from the sheriff's department saying he was in the hospital. And I'm like, they didn't say he was in the hospital alive or dead. And, you know, the worst things happen in your mind when you think worry. So it's hard and just a lot to recover from on my part from the past. But Dougie, you have a superhero right next to you. You couldn't be more luckier, and I know people keep telling you that, than to have someone like Honesty next to you, dude, who's your sister. And you better listen to her and stop being so dang stubborn. Hopefully you're listening to John as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing his future.
Yeah.
So,
gang, we're gonna have to do real quick last words. You know, I'll go with Honesty first.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for opening up your hearts, doing this job. And this career, this life for me, walking in my purpose, it is hard. It is hard. John's doing a memorial tomorrow for a young lady that just overdosed and died a couple weeks ago. The parts of like when I feel like helping the individual with addiction is one thing, and I got that and I can do that, but like trying to help these families that struggle like really gives me so much empathy and just love, and I feel like to be able to be in that place, I truly believe all those years of me using and Derby knowing John, I just felt like this was just the final ditch effort for me. And then, I knew I was going to die. I knew one of
a quick word, man. Dougie, quick word.
We have 4 minutes.
I'm just grateful.
You're grateful, Derby. Quick word.
He's not done.
He just said he was grateful.
I would remind all of the families that it's hard because we feel so responsible for our loved ones, but at some point it's their responsibility to do their part too. And I'm so proud of Dougie for doing his part now, and for Ani for having done her part over the years. But it's a balance. It's really hard for family members, and we get it. We understand it, and we appreciate the hardship in the journey.
All right, back to you, Dougie. Quick word.
I'm just grateful to have a family like this, and like my brother said, to have such a supporting sister who's been through it, and I can get some guidance and everything from her. And I just hope to build back the relationships, like I said, that I had broken on all the mistrust, and just the toll it's been putting on me and it been putting on them. It's weighing on me since I've sobered up, and just can't wait to get back to family trips and everything like we used to.
Well, a word of advice to you is listen to the people who love you the most and do what they suggest. Diddy, last word.
I was just wondering, I was thinking right here, why Dougie called Ani that night instead of me to come get him. I was like, what the hell?
Well, that's obvious to me why he called her.
No, he kept saying, you got to call Ani. She's the only one that can help you. Call Ani.
Exactly.
Harmony, last word.
I'm just, I don't want to take up too much. I definitely am just grateful for McShin. I'm grateful for the support that Dougie and Ani are both getting. I'm grateful they have each other. And I'm grateful that she can help Dougie from what she's learned. And I'm grateful to have this family and for everyone to come together and share. And I most importantly, I love the work, John, you and Ani do. And I hope it helps others, even if they just laugh at us on this podcast and think we're crazy and dysfunctional. It's okay if we are, because we're all happy and we're going to be here for each other. And
we
Dougie,
all look alike.
You will build back those relationships, Dougie. It's just going to take time.
Zen, last word.
I just have like feelings, like families that go through this. It's a roller coaster of emotions. Like you hate each other, you love each other, you joke with each. I mean, it just is a roller coaster of emotions. And like I can't ever be in an addict's shoes, and so it's just, you got to have a lot of open perspective and realize you only get one family, and, don't be resentful and just ride the journey out together and you stay strong.
Before we move on, I want to read a post Debbie made. Debbie Harwell. She said, my brother has been living in recovery since November 2012, and I love him, but honestly, I still sometimes wonder when he will relapse. It's hard as a family member. I have to walk out and trust the issue every day and put that fear away. So really, we each have our journey in recovery to walk. The person in recovery and us family members too. Debbie, that was so well put, man.
Well done, Debbie.
We as addicts, we really ruin our families for life, but at the same time, we can still have a wonderful life as we go through it. All right, Mikey, you get the last word. That ain't no BS either.
Solitaire.
I'm just super. Hey, Scorpion. So I'm super grateful. I love this video I see right here with them two together. See my dad, my mom, and Harmony, Zai, and just grateful that Dougie gets to experience and rebuild everything and just rock and roll and kick it out of the park. I see it. So
yeah, look what you've been missing, man. Look at this shit, man. You've been missing this.
All right, look, man, you guys, you got you got time, all right? Hopefully, So, but man, we're so glad people tuned in tonight. I think it was a marvelous show. My hat's off to the Brackett family and all the other names y'all picked up along the way. And I'm proud to be part of McShin. And this is, to me, one of the shining moments of our career. So thank you all very much for coming. Y'all check our schedule for upcoming podcasts. And we will see you later. More will be revealed.
Thank you, John.
Yep.
Bye, everybody. Love you.
Love you.
My name is Shannon Lance. I'm currently here in recovery at McShin Foundation. I got out of jail on January 10th, 2021. And while I was incarcerated there, my mother passed away due to COVID complications on December 14th. It was a really challenging event in my life. While I was incarcerated there, I watched the recovery videos and the podcast on the tablets there, that was made by the McShin Foundation. Getting the Herd podcast is really made me feel like I was a part of something on the outside, because, there's people that are commenting and just seeing, people that I was incarcerated with on the videos, and just thinking, man, that's going to be me, before too long. And, I'm going to be sitting there in them rooms and, and be able to be a part of the podcast and getting the Herd series. And, now I'm a part of the Herd here at McShin, and it's an amazing feeling. And it's nice having a fulfilled sense of hope in my life currently. And just to live one day at a time, and just to have positive feelings in my life and good relationships with, my family and friends is an amazing event.